here.
Yeah, the in this group, the guy that no one respects is Mitch Moreland, and he's been very, very good, and so he's unfortunate. The other guys are marginal players from fantasy standpoint.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland is the Rodney Dangerfield of baseball, man. He never gets any respect, right?
No, he doesn't.
All right, we last night we had Miguel Cabrera left the game, and so as well did Steve Pierce for the Pierce is the Red Sox, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Pierce finally got some playing time, and he complained about back spasms and numbness in his legs. And I don't think that is too serious, as crazy as that sounds. Whenever Miguel Cabrera, I love Miguel Cabrera. I own him everywhere. But whenever he starts hitting these little knee things, they're not there. A guy to look at who's replaced him quite well when they come in is Brandon Dixon.
I think I want to point out here that Stephen Pierce, even though he could not feel his legs, did not get picked off from second base during last night's game.
He's among those. As a matter of fact, we're gonna probably talk about 35 people here coming up, and if it's a person who got picked off second base, we'll make a note of that. Especially, the professor will jump in and go, "There's one. There's one."
All right. So, what do we have next here? We have Justin Turner hit the IL.
These are all guys that missed last night's game. Actually,
Turner,
I'm
sorry. It's still last night's game. Okay, and Turner missed Thursday and Friday.
It's this wonderful new concept they call a page break, unfortunately.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow this morning. Hunter Dozier left last night's game.
I was hoping that you wouldn't be slow in the morning, because you get up at 7 in the morning, and I know that about those people that are over the age 55, those guys like to get up early, and I thought you'd connect that way.
I usually do. I think I might have had one too many tequila shots last night.
Sorry to digress, but Justin Turner is a hamstring. He missed Thursday and Friday. If he misses a couple more games, he might go to the IL. That's, he's a hitter, and when he's missed for your lineup, it's a thing. Continue, please.
All right, we also have Tommy Pham left with a leg cramp, and Avisail Garcia left with a hamstring.
And did you say Hunter Dozier?
Hunter Dozier on there with the thorax tightness. That's interesting.
I didn't even know I had a thorax. I'm learning new things all the time. When I was a kid, I didn't have a core. They invented the core in 2008. So these are pretty. These are all. Oh, sorry. The Garcia injury might be more serious. The first two don't seem that serious. Missed a few games, but you don't know though. There's a note sort of off the board that top pitching prospect Forrest Whitley in the minors went to the minor league DL with shoulder fatigue. So if you're waiting for him to come up this year, you're probably not going to get to see anything until August. When we were hoping maybe earlier than that. And then the guy, I never know where to put these guys, but Odubel Herrera got put on administrative leave because of accusations of domestic violence, which is good news for Scott Kingery. He gets playing time in center field.
Okay, we have some guys that are started rehab this week. Mitch Garver, catcher for the Twins, and Pedro Strop, the closer for the Cubbies.
There's a closer coming back. If Strop is available, you got to go pick him up ASAP. He's pitched 2 scoreless innings in rehab already. Garver looks pretty good in his rehab. He actually caught a full game last night, which, after an injury, that's a big deal. Only 1 hit. I don't really know who the best catcher in Minnesota is. They're all very good. I like Castro. I like Garver. If you can figure a way to hold both of them up. And then Williams Astudillo's no slouch himself.
Also starting rehab this week, we had Young Ho Kong, Franchi Cordero, Brian Johnson, Lucas Duda, and Mark Trumbo.
I think Mark Trumbo is a guy that people may have forgotten because he hasn't played this year. But people are always talking up guys that have 30 home run power, i.e. Travis Shaw, who I don't really like. Mark Trumbo has got 30 home run power and a beautiful pass to playing time there in Baltimore. He's a guy you should be looking at picking up if you have real need. Not so much in 10-team leagues, but in deeper leagues. Also with the rehabs, Jose Altive's he played Monday and Tuesday, and his rehab got paused on Tuesday night. So he's not going to be. It looked like he was going to be back this week, and he won't be. It's not the same injury. It's not the hamstring. It's the favoring of his surgically repaired knee.
There's some other guys that are getting ready to start rehab pretty soon, hopefully. That's a big name on that list is Giancarlo Stanton. Also have Dinelson Lamet, Scooter Gennett, and the rookie Fernando Tatis Jr.
I know that the Gennett drafters and the Tatis drafters have been waiting for these guys to come back. I mean, I'm sure the Stanton drafters are too, but it is sort of thing. The name in there is Dinelson Lamet. San Diego's playing well. This guy was a pretty good pitcher for him, and he might be forgotten in a lot of leagues. The other guys are probably stashed on people's benches, but Dinelson Lamet is a guy that has good strikeout upside on a pretty good team that seems to be playing well. Other than that, there's also some, we're talking about people that you might be looking at. The rumors are that Dallas Keuchel and Craig Kimbrell could sign this week after the minor league draft passes. So if they're available, those are other guys to speculate on.
And the minor league draft is Tuesday. Is that right, Doug?
Yes, it's Tuesday.
All right, just right around the corner there. Okay, let's get to the call-ups here. We have a group of pitchers, starting with Jose Suarez for the Angels, Zach Plesac for Cleveland, Devin Meltzer for the Twins.
Smeltzer.
Meltzer.
Smelt like the fish.
All right. Genesis Cabrera for the Cardinals, and Mitch Keller for the Pirates.
Yeah, Mitch Keller only came up for the one day to pitch the doubleheader, and he got sent down. He is like the number one prospect in the Pirates minor league. Devin Smeltzer pitched a pretty impressive outing. He threw like 75 pitches, only 19 for balls. I wonder how that's going to play long term, but I like what I saw. I'm going to look at the second thing. Jose Suarez, I don't know too much about, but he is the Angels' number 3 prospect. The Angels have historically not had that deep of a minor league system, so a number 3 on the Angels would be like being the number 11 on the Braves. It's important, but just keep an eye on them.
All right. So St. Louis Cardinals also called up Andrew Knizer, the catcher. Dodgers called up catcher Will Smith. Angels called up Cesar Puello. And the Astros called up second baseman Jack Mayfield.
Yeah, Jack Mayfield was the guy called up for a few days to hold the fort until Altuve came back. But with Altuve not coming back, he's going to play for a while. I think his name is Knitzner. You probably don't pronounce the K, but he is their catcher of the future. The guy that's supposed to be replacing Yadier Molina in the future. So I don't think he's rosterable, but he's certainly somebody you might want to go take a look at. Will Smith is a big time Dodger prospect. Cesar Puello is a guy you may not have heard of, and I like these deeper league kind of guys. The last time I heard Cesar Puello's name before this was when he was busted in the biogenesis scandal with Nelson Cruz and Everth Cabrera and those guys. So this guy has come up. He's hit pretty well, and he's pre-busted for steroids. We know that he's used them, and he's gotten better for it. So, we might take a flyer on that guy in the deepest of leagues, and maybe even AL. Early in his career, he was an Everth Cabrera type with not much power and a lot of speed, and now it looks like he's reversed that. He's got a decent amount of power and almost no speed because he's 29.
Other recalls we had this week were Orioles outfielder DJ Stewart, Royals infielder Cheslor Cuthbert, Tigers brought back Jameer Candelario, Astros brought up outfielder Miles Straw, and outfielder Nick Williams also made it back up.
These are all guys that might be playable in a lot of leagues. Jeimer Candelario was a guy that people were drafting this year, but he got sent down because of a slow start. Cheslor Cuthbert actually started for the Royals last year, or was it the year before, and played pretty decently and just got kind of pushed out with some of their signings. It's good to see him back. He might be a bit of a sleeper. Miles Straw has serious speed for the Astros if you're looking for stolen bases.
All right, and then another group of pitchers that made it back to the bigs this week was Nick Pivetta for the Phillies, Cole Irvin for the Phillies, Nick Margevicius for the San Diego Padres, Tyler Beatty for the Giants, Josh Duplanter, and Nick Tropiano.
A lot of people like the strikeout potential of Pivetta. Margevicius has done fairly well in his earlier starts for San Diego. Nick Tropiano has actually pitched reasonably well historically for the Angels. These are names that are coming back. The reason we go over this is because a lot of people are hyped when somebody just gets called up and then they get sent down and they forget about them. They're the same guy when they get called up again, and sometimes it takes 2 times for them to get through. I like what I've seen out of Duplantier. That's the one guy in there that I actually like. He's passed the eye test to me, but the rest of it's still a bit fuzzy. There are a couple other stories this week. We already mentioned the minor league draft is going to be on Tuesday. I wrote down the name Adley Rutschman because I don't want to forget that. But the three big guys are Adley Rutschman, Bobby Witt Jr., and Andrew Vaughn. There is a bit of a dearth of decent pitching in this thing that's at the college level. But there's some good hitting. I've seen Adley Rutschman compared in 2 different occasions. They'll say things like he's the best prospect since Bryce Harper. And Andrew Vaughn he's a catcher at the boot. He's a 400 hitting catcher for Oregon State. Did you guys see the thing that happened in Houston with Almora hitting the little girl with the foul ball?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't want to say anything wonderful about it, but there's a bit of a move for them to put up like netting or something there. I always thought it was strange. I've gone to a lot of baseball games, especially went to a lot of baseball games as a kid, that there would be like a thing on the back that said, if something happens to you, we take no liability. I just don't know how that's legal. So you just put that on the back and the baseball rule comes to mind. Any thoughts? No, we're just sad for the girl. I felt bad for Almora. I remember there's a story about me. I used to play competitive racquetball, and I hit this guy in the head with a ball pretty fast. I mean, probably 120 miles an hour or so, and he lost sight in his eye, and I lost my next
permanently.
No, it came back in like 6 weeks.
But you didn't know at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time. But I lost my next 3 games because it just shook me up. I wouldn't be surprised. I hate reducing these kind of stories to fantasy or baseball level, but I wouldn't be surprised if Almora is going through something. But I think everybody's talked about the other stuff. It's like, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, if you're sitting in the front rows, you should pay a lot of attention. If you bring your children to the game, you should be uber vigilant. There's a lot of those things. But I feel bad for Albo Almora. Which means
that was a pretty touching to see how shooken up he was. It kind of stopped the game for a while, and just made you think about more important things. So I appreciated that he showed that level of concern for what had happened.
I'm impressed, guys. Yeah, I'm impressed with you guys because we got the entire rundown done by 10:30, which is like the goal, which we never hit. We got those.
To be fair, a lot of that was because you chastised me, so I turned off my microphone and walked away.
Well, that's why I was right. 20 to 25 minutes. People want to hear us talk. That's what I found out. It's like, so if you have something, it's like we want to be the show that gives you lots of information, but we also want to be funny, and so you can be funny at the expense of information from time to time.
Had I mentioned anything about getting picked off at second base? Has that come up yet?
Has anybody gotten picked off second base since we started this show today at 10?
I'm going to check.
Yeah, call around. Let's see what's going on.
Seriously, have you ever seen anything like that? I've seen the snap throws, and the snap throws where the catcher goes down on his side and catches a guy off of first. That's the catcher being awesome.
I've seen Wilson Contreras do it. I saw, as a matter of fact, in the World Baseball Classic, last World Baseball Classic, Jorge Alfaro to Javi Baez did a snap throw to second. It does happen. It's not as rare as you think, but it is pretty rare. Because the thing about being on second is you get a little bit lax. You take a bigger lead. You figure there's no one really covering